I talk to a lot of technology business owners, and there's one consistent thing that always comes up is growth. Every owner is focused on growth. They've always got targets for what they want to grow to. It's a constant theme of if I'm $1 million business owner, I want to get to 5 million. If I'm 5 million, I want to get to 10. If I'm 10, I've got 20. It's so repetitive and expected that I just know that that's what's going to come out of our mouths. And a lot of the reason is uh, we're plucking figures out of the air, and that makes it very difficult to actually have a purpose behind it. But it's something as organic business owners we just feel we need to do. There's no strategy, there's no vision behind it. And so what ends up happening is there's no action, there's no execution. It's I want to be 5 million. It's not I'm working towards 5 million. And that's a very different mindset. It's a very different action orientation that we have. It's very easy to say that I want to be a $5 million business and then not do everything day to day. And as I've worked with over 100 business owners directly, and I've talked to hundreds up to thousands business owners in the last sort of 8 years, most don't actually want to grow. That's the weird thing. When I uncover it and I talk to them about what they want to achieve in their business, most small business owners want to keep it small. They want to keep it controllable. That $1 million business, yeah, they might want to grow to $2 or $3 million, but they don't want to add more headcount. They want to stay at their average sort of 7 people. Maybe they get up to 10. They don't want to be those $100 million businesses. They don't want to have hundreds of staff. But the way that we talk and the way that we focus, that's what we do by default. And I found that it takes someone external from them to actually give them permission to say it's okay to be small. And it is. Most of the most successful technology services business owners that I know and I've had the fortune of working with, they've chosen to say small and be extremely profitable, and they take that money out of their business and they invest it to their personal wealth. The ones that are capable of growing and want to grow do, and that again they find different ceilings, whether that's the 10 million mark, maybe it's in the 20 to 30 range, right up to that 100 million. There's no right generic answer in this. It's very much what works for you and what's your personality. And that's where I think a lot of us don't understand our own mindsets. And years ago, as I was starting to uncover this challenge and to help owners sort of understand what they're motivated by, I created this mindsets of owners sort of concept to help frame them up. And there was six in it, ranging from someone that's working towards exit, someone that's building towards a kingdom. They're doing kingdom building activity, which is going towards that $100 million sort of business. That deliberate lifestyle business, which was that smaller business that's generating a large amount of profit and generating personal wealth. The survival mode, that owner that's just focused on just surviving day to day. And then the startup mode of we're just starting. But the final one that I found that's the majority of owners out there is lost. They don't actually have a mindset of they're choosing what to do. They're not choosing to start something up and build something new. They're not choosing a deliberate lifestyle and generating their wealth. And they're not choosing to build a kingdom or exit. They're just floating about day to day. They're sort of in a bit better position than survival because they've got a decent enough business, but they don't need to. They're not doing anything to change and evolve. And that's when you start looking at business and start looking at our growth trajectories, it's a dangerous place to be. I talk a lot about that need to transform or exit, and the majority of the industry isn't. So if we bring it back to our growth trajectories, Canalys brought out some analysis at the start of this year around that they're expecting overall a 20% revenue growth year on year across the major technology categories for partners. And that varies from some small amounts up to some quite large amounts in different categories. But that 20% seems a lot for a lot of businesses because we've stagnated a lot. But to put that in perspective, there's 4 trajectories or velocities of growth. There's hyper growth, which is 40% year on year or above. There's rapid growth, which is 20 to 40%. Standard growth is 0 to 20, and then there's negative or static growth. And when you put that in perspective, when our leading analysts are saying there's overall an opportunity to grow 20%, well, that's just standard growth. So why is that something special? It might be quite significant when you're $100 million and you're growing 20%, but if you're $1 million business, 20% isn't a whole lot. It's $200,000. That's a couple of new clients. That's a price rise. That's a few extra projects and a few new services each year. But we're struggling to do that. And that's where this mindset comes into play again. Again, we're lost. We don't know what we're trying to achieve. We're not driving towards high profitability because we're not a deliberate lifestyle business. We're not driving towards overall top line revenue growth through acquisitions or organic sales and demand generation activity, or we're not working towards exit. We're floating about waiting for that growth to happen to us, and we're not necessarily wanting it. And so what I want you to take away from this video is, what do you actually want to be? What do you actually want to do, and where are you heading? Because without a clear strategy and vision, you are just floating about. And as the market changes, as our traditional services are commoditizing, as our margins are shrinking because of different challenges, like our salaries are increasing, inflationary pressure, our SaaS margins are shrinking because vendors keep upping prices, what's going to happen to us? We're going to go from that standard growth. We're probably tracking towards maybe 10% year-on-year growth. Well, if we don't do anything about it, that growth isn't going to amount to much, and we're actually going to start seeing that negative growth happen. I've spoken about it a lot. Clients are churning more than ever, and so not only are we got the challenge of how do we manage our margins of our existing clients, how are we retaining our clients? And for a lot of us, there's a lot of reasons why we can't retain it, and I've spoken to that a lot. It's out of our control. So what are you doing? Do you want to grow? Do you need to grow? What does it need to look like? It's not a simple answer, and there's no generic correct answer of cookie cutter for everyone. It really comes down to you and your individual circumstances and your individual vision and your needs for yourself and your business. So take some time to think, develop a simple strategy, and then create a plan and work it. It could really change your life, and I've seen it time and time again, but far too few partner business owners are taking the time to do that. So you might need to get outside help, and there's plenty out there, but you need to do something. You really need to think about it. Do you have the energy to transform, or is it time to exit?